Training and suffering. How David Goggins turned pain into power. Feeling stuck? Like your goals are kicking your butt and laughing? Yeah, we all been there. But what if I told you there's a way to turn that weakness into your ultimate weapon? That's exactly what David Goggins, a former Navy SEAL and ultramarathon legend, is here to roar about. Get ready, because this ain't your mama's self-help guide. This is raw, real talk from a guy who stared rock bottom in the face and flipped it into the fuel for greatness. Let's dive into Goggins' mind and see how we can unleash the beast within ourselves. Stay tuned for motivational video. Please don't forget to subscribe the channel. Number 1. Mastering the mind. Goggins' message is clear. You gotta be the boss of your own brain. We all have that voice whispering doubts and excuses. But Goggins says that's a bunch of BS. He used to be overweight and depressed, but instead of letting that define him, he decided to become the master of his mind. Here's the kicker. Everyone has struggles, even those tough-looking dudes you think got it all figured out. Goggins calls them alpha males with fragile egos. They might act all strong, but deep down they're scared just like you. The real power move, recognizing that weakness and using it to fuel your fire. Number 2, training and suffering. All right, so you've acknowledged your weakness. Now what? Goggins throws you straight into the fire. His training was brutal. Instructors reveled in making recruits suffer, pushing them to their absolute limits. But Goggins saw this as an opportunity. He turned his weakness, his self-doubt, into his ultimate motivator. When the instructors were expecting him to crack, he used their negativity as fuel. He visualized them laughing at him, then flipped the script. He'd grind harder, push further, all while shouting, "You will not break me." This wasn't just about him, though. He saw his struggling teammates and became their cheerleader. He knew that by pushing himself, he was dragging the whole team forward. It's a powerful lesson. Sometimes your greatest strength comes from lifting others up with you. Number 3, taking souls. Remember how Goggins was yelling, "You will not break me," at his instructors? That wasn't just empty bravado. He called it taking souls. Here's the deal. During his infamous Navy SEAL training, there was this grueling competition called Hell Week. It's designed to break even the toughest recruits. But Goggins and his team, Boat Crew 2, weren't having it. They saw the instructors taking pleasure in their misery, and that flipped a switch in Goggins' mind. He told his team, "Let's take their F***king souls." What that meant? They were going to push beyond anyone's expectations. They'd dominate every race, every exercise, every challenge thrown their way. They'd become a machine, a relentless force that wouldn't quit. And guess what? They did it. They crushed Hell Week, leaving the instructors speechless. This taking souls concept is more than just winning a race. It's about using moments of extreme difficulty to your advantage. When everyone else is giving up, you dig deeper, push harder. It's about finding that fire within yourself, the one that burns brightest when things are at their absolute worst. It's about turning your suffering into your superpower. Number 4, harnessing energy. So, how do you actually take souls in your own life? Goggins talks about something called adrenaline hijack. Basically, when you're in a super stressful, challenging situation, your body pumps out a ton of adrenaline. Most people freak out, get overwhelmed. But Goggins, he learned to control that surge of energy, channel it into laser focus and raw power. It's about training your mind to see difficulty as an opportunity, not a roadblock. Here's the thing, everyone gets tired, everyone wants to quit, but that's when the magic happens. When you push past that wall, when you keep going, even when your body screams, "Stop," that's when you take souls. You surprise yourself, you surprise everyone else, and you tap into a whole new level of strength and resilience. It's like a competition, you versus your inner voice telling you to give up. And guess who wins when you learn to control your mind and harness that fight or flight energy? You do, my friend, you do. Number 5, control and power. Goggins doesn't just talk about pushing through pain, he advocates for finding power in it. Remember how we discussed controlling your adrenaline? That skill becomes crucial when you learn to find strength in misery. It's not about enjoying suffering, but rather using it as a catalyst for growth. Here's the idea. When things get tough, when you're facing a seemingly insurmountable challenge, your body goes into a stress state. It's uncomfortable for sure, but Goggins argues that this discomfort can be a powerful tool. How? By learning to control your reaction to this stress. Instead of letting it paralyze you, you channel it into focused determination. You use the discomfort as a reminder of your goals, of why you started this journey in the first place. You tell yourself, this might suck right now, but I can handle it. I'm going to push through it and come out stronger on the other side. Goggins doesn't shy away from the harsh reality. There will be times when things feel absolutely miserable, but that's the point. It's in those moments that you discover your true potential. You learn that you're capable of more than you ever thought possible. You become mentally unbreakable, a force to be reckoned with. So next time you're faced with a challenge that makes you want to crawl under the covers, remember Goggins' words: embrace the suck, control your reaction, and find the strength that lies dormant within the misery. Number 6, integration of the shadow. David Goggins goes beyond just physical training and mental toughness. He delves into the realm of psychology, specifically the concept of the shadow from Carl Jung. The shadow represents the unconscious aspects of ourselves, our hidden desires, fears, and negative emotions. Most people try to repress their shadow, but Goggins argues for integrating it. Here's the twist. Your shadow isn't just darkness. It can be a source of immense power. Think about it. Those negative emotions like anger, frustration, even self-doubt, they can fuel your drive, push you to achieve what you never thought possible. The key is to acknowledge these emotions, understand them, and then learn to channel them in a positive way. For example, maybe you're feeling insecure about your abilities. Instead of letting that insecurity hold you back, use it as motivation. Prove to yourself that you're capable of more. Or maybe you're angry at a past failure. Don't let that anger fester. Use it to propel yourself forward, to train harder, to become the best version of yourself. Integrating your shadow isn't about becoming a jerk. It's about embracing your whole self, the light and the dark. It's about recognizing that even the negative aspects of yourself can be powerful tools for growth. So, don't be afraid to delve into your shadow. You might just discover a hidden wellspring of strength and resilience. Number 7, resistance to obedience. David Goggins isn't just about pushing yourself to the limit. He's about questioning the status quo. He encourages a healthy dose of resistance to blind obedience. Now, this doesn't mean disrespecting authority or becoming a rebel without a cause, but it does mean having the courage to think for yourself and challenge the norms when necessary. Goggins himself is a prime example. He famously clashed with the Navy SEAL training instructors who demanded unquestioning obedience. He saw their methods as outdated and stifling, and he wasn't afraid to speak up. Now, this doesn't mean he disobeyed orders, but he did question their tactics and found ways to motivate himself and his team beyond simply following commands. This concept applies to everyday life, too. How often do we blindly follow societal expectations or conform to groupthink? Goggins urges us to be more discerning. Don't just follow the crowd because everyone else is doing it. Ask yourself, does this align with my goals? Does this make sense for me? He also highlights the importance of standing up for what you believe in, even if it means going against the grain. Remember his fight against compelled speech provisions? That's Goggins putting his beliefs into action, refusing to be dictated to. Following the herd is easy, but true strength comes from forging your own path, from having the courage to think critically and act independently. So take a page out of Goggins' book, question the rules, challenge the norms, and don't be afraid to blaze your own trail. After all, who knows what incredible things you might achieve when you break free from the pack?